Hello, Baz at GotAUkulele with an article for you to accompany a written post that I've got on the blog. Do read that. A mix between a beginner's tips video and a review. This time I am looking at ukulele capos. There's a capo. What's a capo? A capo is something you basically clip onto the neck of the instrument and it moves the nut down, bringing the notes up, allowing you to easily transpose upwards to suit your voice and that kind of thing. I've never really seen the need for them, particularly on ukuleles, because I tend to use my forefinger to do that. It's nature's own capo, very popular on guitars, but then guitars have much wider necks and the strings are harder to press down, so I can understand that. That doesn't really apply to a ukulele. However, GotAUkulele has a policy of not telling people what they should and shouldn't do, and I see a lot of people using capos, so I thought I'd do a roundup. For a capo, I think there's a couple of things that are really important. One is weight, and one is whether it's going to get in the way of your hand. So I think they need to be small, and that's the reason why I don't recommend using a guitar capo. Some people say they use them. That's a guitar capo. That's a ukulele capo. Look at the difference in size. And the issue is if you put a guitar capo on a ukulele, I mean, it's massive. It's absolutely massive, and it's heavy. I like ukuleles to be balanced, and I don't want them to be. This is very balanced. This is a canalea. It just sits nicely in the hand. Add any weight to this end of the ukulele, and you're going to start making it neck heavy. Not very comfortable to play, basically. So I'm looking at three main types of capo. First up, the trigger style, sometimes called the Kaiser. It's not actually a Kaiser capo, but it's the same sort of principle. These are 10 a penny in all sorts of branding. They're also very cheap, and basically it's a squeeze thing like that, and that spring keeps it closed, and you simply just hook it into place over your fret position, so it sits like that. And the sound, well, I'm not gonna, makes everything higher. Now, this one, really light, it's about 17 grams. It doesn't make the neck particularly, not really heavy at all. It's made of aluminium. It's dead easy to move around. I want to move it up to there, I just slide it up. I want to move it up to there, I slide it up. And when I'm not using it, I can just keep it up there. Really handy. However, the downside is that it gets in the way of my fretting hand. It's got an awful lot going on here. A lot sticking out, as you can see, and I find I'm just constantly bumping into it, and it kind of digs into my hand, and this is sharp. It's not comfortable. For that reason, I don't use these. Convenience is great, but I think playability is more important. Next up, this is made by a company called Shub. It's a very clever design, really popular with guitarists because it folds down into such a small space on the neck. Pretty expensive, about £17 for a Shub, but they're brilliantly engineered. They last a lifetime, and basically this mechanism here kind of locks over there and holds it in place. So that means that when it's on the neck, it's pretty low profile. There's no bit sticking out, and I find that this one doesn't interfere anywhere near as much with my playing hand, with my fretting hand. That said, that one 17 grams, this is 51 grams. That's heavy. So what I find is I put the Shub on the neck of the ukulele, and it's immediately making the headstock dip. It's adding far too much weight up here. I don't like that. I don't want a heavy neck in my ukulele. It's the reason why I prefer friction tuners. Really nice idea, great for guitars, totally over engineered, I think, for the ukulele. And then probably the least user-friendly of them, this one by D'Addario, their NS series. This one, basically, you put it in place and you tighten it up with this. So it's a bit more fiddly to move around. It's nowhere near as easy as the trigger style. But once it's in place, though, it's so unobtrusive. There's no real bits sticking out at all. This is the most comfortable to play with. You just don't know it's there. It's also 14 grams, so absolutely no weight on the neck at all. In fact, it's so light, it's unbelievable. A bit annoying compared to the trigger in terms of moving it around, but you know, like I say, once it's in place, it's not that difficult. So I think you'll find that with capos, they all kind of come with some compromises. Yeah, these are light and these are cheap and these are easy to move, but I find they dig into your hands. Yeah, that's brilliantly engineered, but way too heavy. And for me, it's that D'Addario that I like because it's just so simple, so light, and you just don't know it's there. Your alternative, of course, is to use your forefinger and learn to transpose the chords that way. It's really not too hard. But I understand that some people like the convenience of the capo. Have a read of the full written review. There's some more photographs, some more detail as to what I think about them, together with some links as to where you can buy all of those. But there we are, the Ukulele Capo Roundup on GotAUkulele. Keep an eye on this channel and on the website. We've got some great instrument reviews coming very soon. See you soon.